Morning folks, it's Kat here. Hi. I'm here at Tamerton Church. A fair bit of history is down here, but I thought I'd just start off that this was one of the first churches that I came to 27 years ago to find out about medieval women and to look at my research. It's just down the road from where I live, and it's usually locked unless you're here on a service on a Sunday. But I got permission, it's early o'clock here, I got permission this morning, and I'm waiting for someone to come and open up for me, and then we can go in and quickly see Lady George inside. It's just started to rain, so I'm here underneath the trees to try and stay dry. But yeah, medieval history and medieval ladies is something I'm really passionate about. I feel that the effigies are something that we can actually take a lot of information from. We know that medieval men and women chose to have their effigies to have their souls prayed over by the priests and the monks, and they paid for that. But from our point of view, it gives us an invaluable insight into costumes and armour, and there's a lot of armourers that actually use effigies to help them with their understanding of how armour works. And I think many people who portray medieval men for historical settings and castles and events look at the knights and use them quite in a positive sense. But when it comes to medieval women, my feeling is a lot of women and a lot of people poo-poo them, which I think is quite wrong, because we're looking at a beautiful time capsule into costume, and an invaluable insight into the layers of costume on some of the effigies. And with the research I've done recently, especially since lockdown, previously we were told that they were 50 years either side of the actual date of the effigy, which that's what I first started believing. But the more I get into researching effigies and the costumes on effigies, and especially recent research, like I said, since lockdown, we're looking at something that could have been ordered and commissioned by the church donor in their lifetime. So they're choosing a carving from sketches, almost like a cartoon, like you use for embroidery and like we use for paintings and manuscripts. And like the Sistine Chapel, you have a cartoon drawing, and then you choose your elements which then go onto it. And I believe that the effigies are like that. A lot of effigies I've now seen over the years are clones of one another with different elements. And I think workshops across the country, effigy and stonemasons, stone carving workshops, had these cartoon images, and you could choose, oh, that's the style gown I want, that's how I want this. But then there was also personal elements to them, their heraldry, their jewellery. But that's my personal view, and I think effigies, especially female effigies, are something we really need to look into further, which is why I have decided to make these videos, to make it more accessible for women. We've got fantastic books written by Dr. Tobias Catwell and other fantastic people out there that focus solely on the knights and their armour, to then, like I've said, make the armour to give a man a perfect representation of a medieval knight. But I don't think we utilise, oh, it's just started to rain, I don't think we utilise the female effigy as much as we could. And over the last couple of years, I've really looked into the veils, the buttons, the actual cut of the gowns, and I'm hoping that these videos will then help women with their reconstruction, so they can turn up at events with little tweaks to their kit, so they actually look correct, more correct, period. I mean, my personal feelings are for the headdresses. That's what I love. I love the elements of the gowns, the sleeves, the cuffs, all of that. And if there's details of pearls or braid, great, that adds to mine. But I love the fact that I can now possibly reach out and help people with their own interpretations, not only just in England, but with these videos for around the world. But that's what I'm doing them for. I initially thought I would help out my friend in Australia. Hi Lauren, you're amazing. But this, I think, could be bigger. I hope so, for medieval women, which is why I'm focusing on female effigies. I'm not going to leave the knights out, but the knights do usually outshine the women quite a lot, to the point where women medieval effigies on women, they get eclipsed completely by the night. So I'm hoping now to actually make sure that the nights are going to be slightly pushed aside and we focus on the females. Anyway, it's really starting to chuck it down. I'm waiting for this gent, and then we'll go in and see Lady Georges, one of my favourite effigies, which really did inspire me when I first started getting into reenactment, making headwear and making gowns 27 years ago. Wow. Anyway, take care guys. See you soon. Here we are with the effigies. I don't have a lot of time, so we'll quickly go through them. As you can see, we've got the knight and the lady. I'll give you a quick scan and then we'll go into detail. I'll go this way, it's much easier. There we go. Okay, give you a quick scan. There are pictures of these online, which make it a whole lot easier when you actually see them as an effigy, because the pictures are from a book written in 1877, which show sometimes them larger or drawn differently to what they actually are. So we can't take those pictures online to be exactly what we want. So here we are, there's the knight. Quickly go into detail with him. We've got some amazing angels. It's written in the books that they've got some great headdress details, so we'll zoom in on that. Look, there we go. How fab's that? Beautiful folds on their sleeves, beautiful little arms and wings. And then we'll move over to de Gorges. So we've got details here. There's been a repair to his hands and his collar. Got the bassinet on the top there, you see. And then we've got beautiful arm pieces there. There's no mail detail under the armpit, as you can see. Got some nice gauntlet detail there, which has been tried to be repaired on the other side. He's got the whirlpool heraldry, which is denoted in a lot of the references that I've been looking into. You can actually see around here, but there was another smaller whirlpool inside, and there's remains of another small whirlpool there. I'll come in this side so the boys can actually see the other part of the armour, that side. There we go. See the hands of the angels and the folds of their cloaks, which is a nice touch. Okay. Got camo going over his shoulders there. And there's his face. I'll get the other side of there for you. Okay, so I'm going to go down. Classic nipped in waist. There's a lot of references to say that he's 1346. I don't believe that he's 1346 at all. Yeah, a lot of references say he's current with the 19th reign of Edward III, but I believe he's a lot later. Not many remains of a dagger there or a scabbard, but there was one at one point. And if we go over this side, beautiful dagging. Look at that dagging. That lovely belt plate. Gorgeous dagging. Again, there's a hint of mail, but there's actually no carved detail of mail. We go over, we've got the bollock dagger. Absolute beauty. Blade's gone to the ravages of time, but the handle and the lovely cullions are there, look. Fabulous. I'll just zoom in on that lovely belt there, look. Can you see the belt? Absolutely fabulous details on the belt. And then we go down to the knees. Lovely details on the knees. Down to the lion at his feet. The lion's head smashed, sadly. I'll have to check the 1877 picture, which I've got over there in a minute, to see what differences there are from 1877 to 2023. But yeah, there seems to be quite a difference. From this angle, you can actually see the whirlpool heraldry. Lovely curves, the remains of the whirlpool heraldry. But they're fantastic effigies, absolutely gorgeous condition. Okay, we're going to go to the lady now, a bit that's going to interest a lot of women who recreate costumes. So here we are. Here she is. Beautiful headdress. References that they were called pillow headdresses, but yeah, box templates. Sometimes they're referred to as cross tree, but absolutely delightful ear protrusions and calls over the ears, quite low down, as you can see. We'll go over here for the veil folds. There we go. Over the top of the head there. And then we've got some beautiful details with pearls here. An indication of actual hair, which is really, really nice. If that is hair, there's nothing there. But we've got some beautiful details over the left ear. And if we move across her face, we've got beautiful details of the right ear. And some lovely folds on top of her head. Now, the bit that I like as well on this one, something I was told that never existed in the medieval times, necklaces. And we've got fantastic representation of cross here, which is really nice. That's a cross, and we've got quite a high placement of pearls. Got a lovely neckline here. It looks like we've got a remnants of an undershift, which gives a V-neck, and then we've got a straight neckline of an actual cote hardie or a sideless surcoat with a cloak as well. This cloak has a collar very similar to the ones we spotted in North Devon, which is really, really nice. Hand of an angel, beautiful folds of a cloak on the angel, headless angel. But absolutely beautiful. Okay, so let's have a look at some other details on her. She's got another part of her collar there, really nice details to have a bit of a collar. You can see if I hold that way, you can see the remains of the cross and the pearls. The hands are smashed, but she's not holding a heart at all, just hands in prayer. And we've got some lovely brooches holding the clasp of the cloak, across there, across there. And down the front of her dress, she's got the plaster on, the actual beautiful jewels. We've got evidence of pearls. For every square, there's 4 pearls, it looks like, which is a nice detail, which go under her hands, and then they come out here when you can actually see the actual cloak toggle going up and down, which is a nice feature, and the actual cloak cord there. That's really nice. So we've got the remnants of a sideless surcoat we can see here. So we're looking at something that I personally would think would be from about 1380. I think we're looking at a lord and lady from Richard III's time period rather than Edward III. Richard II's time period rather than King Edward III. Especially with that headdress. Definitely looking at the latter end of the 14th century, very early into the 15th century. Okay, so we've got the surcoat here. Sadly, she's been dreadfully smashed, so we've lost a lot of details of the cords and the tassels and how far the actual jewels come down on her plastron. But this is the actual sideless surcoat, which inspired me with my first blue velvet sideless surcoat, especially with the jewels. The centre of that jewel is really quite nice. Look, it's got a lovely little 4-leaf flower, quarter foil, and again you can see the pearls under the toggle of the cords, but that's been all smashed, which is a shame. I've got beautiful folds of a cloak, absolutely gorgeous. And then we go over to that side, more beautiful folds of her cloak. There's no references of buttons, but we have a normal straight edge of a cuff here, normal straight edge, no evidence of buttons. And then if we move down here, got some fabulous details of the folds of her cloak and her gown. I'll move over that way. You can see the folds of her cloak, so it was a beautifully long cloak. Again, the gown is longer than the wearer, which denotes status as well. She can't walk fast, she can't work. She's a high status woman. You've got shoe detail there, which is cute. Masses of folds at the bottom, look. Masses of folds of fabric. Another indication of a foot there. And then we have an amazing, lovely little dog that survived Look at his little ears and his little snout. Isn't that gorgeous? And we've got collar detail as well, for those who are interested in that. Great big bells on his collar, which is really lovely, a lovely feature. Anyway, I'll move over here so you can see the effigy in full. There they are. Absolutely fabulous. Beautiful details on these effigies. And I hope you find them interesting, because I do. It's one of the first ones that inspired me into costume many, many, many years ago. Absolutely beautiful. Gorgeous cloak details, headdress details. There they are. Now there's references here that they are, my notes, it says here that they're thought to be Lord William and Lady Agnes, but there's also references as well that he is Lord Ralph and Lady Ellen de Gorges, but they don't fit the actual timeline. I don't think they're 46 at all. I do believe they're from the Richard II era because of the headdress and the armour details. But anyway, that's these effigies in Tamerton Foliot. I'll take some photos now, but I hope you find them interesting, and I'll catch up with you later, guys. Thank you, bye. Hi, this is the image from 1877 of sepulchral effigies in Devon. As you can see, the headdress here is completely different to the actual effigy itself, which leads me to my earlier comments saying don't take these pictures online to be correct. Go and see the effigies for yourself. You can see for yourself here that the front of her gown in 1877 was still there with the plaster on jewels going right down the front, the front of the sideless surcoat. It's quite narrow again, which is an indicator for me that the sideless surcoat is from a later period, hence the effigies would be a later period than the Edward III suggestion from 1346. You can see some beautiful tassel details there, and I did my own sketch here of when I first came 20 odd years ago there. Okay, so that gives me my indications, but here, you know, sadly, this is the reality. Look, completely smashed. But the headdress itself is interesting. Let's have a look at that in detail. So we've got quite large corals. It's quite flat across the top, which is really nice. And then we've got the veil going quite far back and then coming down. And if we move across, we've got loads of pleats which come from central point. So I would suggest that this one is possibly circular. When we move across here, hundreds and hundreds of pearls, and as we know, the pearl trade was rife. They used it, they used to buy them by the bagful. A lot of oriental pearls coming into England too, we have references of, so pearls are really a beautiful feature of this effigy, this female effigy as well. Not only has she got them on her headdress, she's got them on her necklace, and she's got them right down the front of her dress. Which makes beautiful details for her. She must have been luminous. Okay, so we've got some fab details there. There's the headdress details there. As you can see, we have copious amounts of folds. Sorry about my shadow, guys. There we go. Beautiful folds as I pan around. Taken lots of photographs. And as you can see, there's some beautiful details on the back of the angel with their headdress too. Done a lot of research into hairstyles as well, so it's really nice that you can actually see the hair being combed in all directions on the top of the angel's head, which is really nice, going towards the circlet, coming down, radiating out. Okay guys, there she is. Either Lady Agnes, Lady Ellen, or a name that's been lost over time, because I do believe that she's from a later period. Okay, that's that one. Take care, guys.